Thank you, Rebecca and fellow Toastmasters. Whether we realize it or not, we have leaders guiding us in all aspects of our lives. Now, there's the obvious, In school, you have teachers. At work, you have managers. In government, we have the city council, the mayor, the president. But we also have the local police force. We have businesses. We have the Chamber of Commerce. We have leaders in finance and industry and in journalism who are all helping us make decisions every day. Leaders are generally responsible for two major things. One, making decisions which will affect large groups of people. And two, fostering the growth and the work of the individuals within their group. Leaders make important decisions every day so that the rest of us don't have to. If everything in the government was democratic, it would be overwhelming. We'd have to spend all of our time thinking about where to build the next road, where to invest money, which country to invade next. And the same goes for work. We allow our leaders at work to make decisions so that we don't have to. Where to invest money, who to hire, where to make cuts. Sometimes leaders have to make decisions that we don't need to make or that we just don't want to make. Leaders are also required, however, to get results from their followers. Parents want their kids to grow up to be contributing, healthy members of society. Governments want their citizens to participate in the culture and contribute to the function of society. Your employer wants you to do your job, listen, observe, and contribute your unique ideas. Now, Franklin Roosevelt once said, "The presidency is not merely an administrative office. That's the least of it. It's preeminently a place of moral leadership." Now, this was a man who made huge decisions that affected literally hundreds of millions of lives. But what he was getting at here is that it's not necessarily about the decisions. It's about how he's running the country, how he's showing his values, and how he's encouraging others to participate in those values. Everyone has an individual personality, and we all obviously know this on some intuitive level. People have different likes and dislikes, people have different flaws, they respond to criticism differently, different passions. Sometimes, though, it is important to understand these differences beyond just the intuitive or the surface level. Sometimes it's useful to use classifications. There are many personality tests out there that we can take. There are the shallow ones like spirit animal. There are more complicated ones used by employers like the Myers-Briggs. There are ones used for relationships like Gary Chapman's love languages. And I used to be a skeptic of these types of characterizations. I used to say, psychologists are just making these things up so they can make money. But as I've matured and I've taken some of these surveys myself and I've seen how personalities play out in the real world, I've come to appreciate these types of classifications. According to these classifications, personally, my spirit animal is a crow. At work, I'm supportive, like Michelle Obama, and analytical, like Bill Gates. In relationships, my love language is gifts. And as a leader, my style is authoritarianism. Just kidding. It's altruistic. An altruistic leader understands what I've just described, that everyone is unique and has their own set of needs and desires, abilities, and flaws. An altruistic leader needs to know not just what is happening with the group as a whole, but what is happening to each of the individuals in that group. An altruistic leader leads with personality. We speak to individuals and look for ways to make them feel heard and look for ways to take out individual obstacles. An altruistic leader uses empathy to empower their followers. It is very similar to the democratic leadership style in that an altruistic leader is looking for input from each member of the group. The difference is that a democratic leader is looking for a consensus from the group, whereas an altruistic leader is making decisions based on individual needs. Now, I don't have much leadership experience, but I've been able to see this play out in a few ways. In my profession, I'm a process engineer at a manufacturing facility, which means employees are often looking for me to make technical decisions and give them guidance. I'm often forced to make decisions which will affect my whole team, and they look to me to make them. Part of my job is sitting down with my coworkers who are affected by my decisions, whether it be operators, other engineers, programmers, and hearing them out, giving them space to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I try to balance my own thoughts and goals with those of the individuals who I'm speaking to. The goal is for everyone to feel heard and valued. Now, a downfall of this leadership style is that sometimes it can be time-consuming and ineffective, especially with short-term decision-making. Long-term, we obviously want everyone to feel valued and like they're part of the team, but sometimes in the day-to-day decisions, in the short term, you just have to decide. There are leaders everywhere and there are personalities everywhere. Understanding one's own personality and the personality of those around them is important for anyone who wants to have an influence. People need to know you're looking out for them, and whether it be in family and relationships, at work, in organizations like Toastmasters, in the community, a good leader needs to know how to adapt in different situations. An altruistic leader is able to figure this out accordingly, adjusting to individuals along the way.
Thank you, Matt, and everything. The stated purpose of this speech was for Jake to identify his or her, it would be his, primary leadership style or styles. And I thought Jake did a pretty good job of leading us through the various leadership styles and then illustrating by a story about his leadership style at work, what he considers to be his personal primary leadership style. As for his speech organization, I think that's one of Jake's strengths. It's one of the things I do think you do very well. You appear to research your speech topics and then organize them in a very logical flow pattern so that it's easy for your audience to follow along with your major points. So that's something I always enjoy listening to you speak. As for areas where you might show some improvement, it said how to challenge yourself. I think a good project for you to give to challenge yourself would be to try giving a thoroughly belly-busting humorous speech, because that type of a speech requires the speaker to really emphasize things like pauses, vocal variety, gestures, and facial expressions. Those are the things that I think that you need to work on. And if you tried giving us a speech that has us rolling on the floor laughing, that would be good practice for strengthening those areas in your speech presentation style. And then, the next time you're having a leadership session at work, you can enliven your crew with some of your humorous speaking style. I gave you some good high marks on the evaluation form because I think you improve every time I hear you speak. You are coming along very well. I enjoy listening to you speak, and I look